After a short week break, we are back in business for the 2026 Austrian Grand Prix. Anyone who knows anything about Formula One know we are going to be fed this week since this is Austria, people. This track is one of those where it don't matter what car is driving on it, banger racing can be expected. Quite literally, this track breeds incidents, and even when none happen, this track still breeds amazing racing that is impossible to miss. So couple that with some 2026 regulation of car that loves to overtake, and guys, we are absolutely in for a good one. It kind of doesn't matter what happens on Sunday, we will see action either way. Mercedes can be 1, 2, 50 seconds in the distance, they will be fighting. 3 teams can be fighting for the lead, of course it'll be fun. Nothing happens at P1, the midfield will be in hell. At lowest, this race will be like a 7 out of 10, so please, I beg of you, do not miss this one, especially because this season seems to be ramping up. Off of the back of the Barcelona Grand Prix, Lewis Hamilton could be in a potential title fight with the Mercedes, which of course is good news for us all. And even if he slips away, the two Mercs are starting to build up anger towards each other, which I don't think it takes a genius to understand why that could be enticing. So if things are going to start boiling over, right here this weekend will be the tipping point. So I'm just going to keep the intro short since I just want to talk about the potential this race weekend has for us, since I think weird results can be expected, which is only made better when you see Silverstone is next week and typically sees many upgrades and team performance being shifted. So let's go see which teams we should watch, the driver to watch, the stories heading to the weekend, and of course, my predictions, which are guaranteed to come true. Subscribe to get out of bed, and let's get to quacking now.
See those clouds up in the corner? That's where the rain is coming from.
As always, you beautiful people, we got the teams to watch first up, and for this weekend, it's kind of slow. The big one is going to be in Silverstone for reasons I mentioned previously in the intro. Last year, we saw Lando starting to get his form back. 2024, we saw the Mercs get more into play again. 2023 saw the McLarens get back into play, etc, etc. So this week in Austria should be more of the same before Silverstone could see some major shifting. Either way, this weekend should still be exciting. So let's begin by talking about Cadillac. Now, Caddy have actually really impressed me, believe it or not. I actually think they have made stellar progress so far, considering this is their first season. I mean, yeah, their cars still look cheaply made and slow, but it is getting better. I expected Caddy to always improve gradually throughout the season, but I actually think they have been improving way faster than anticipated. I mean, Checo nearly scored points on Monaco, and yeah, he kind of threw his dementia and all, but this should still be very positive for the team. I think Austria will breed chaos as usual, and for Caddy, maybe they'll be right there to go all the way. And if not, to be honest, I expect them to be close enough regardless. So either way, this weekend should be good for Caddy because I said so. Next up, I want to talk about Audi because these lot just confuse me. Last week in Barcelona, they could have seen their first points in a while with Hülkenberg, who was competing for P9, and it looks great. The midfield battle was awesome, and surely nothing can ruin this for Audi. But they really should have considered how a rocket hit their emergency off switch at just the correct angle to completely shut off the car of their point scorer, by the way, since Gabby was doing nothing. I just don't know what to make of the team heading to this one. Are they going to almost score points again, or are they going to be back at the bottom of the midfield? I don't know, but honestly, this is kind of ridiculous now, because yes, they are brand new as well, but they scored points on debut and looked great up until the April break. I mean, are they just operating with their eyes closed now? Surely they know what's wrong and they could start to fix things, but given everything we see and hear from them, they seem like they don't know either. This stagnation will be the death of them, so let's see what they're going to do about it. Next up is Racing Bulls, who have been doing wonders so far. In Spain, in the past few weekends, to be honest, they have been pretty good, especially with Liam. Racing Bulls, I seriously thought were going to be 3 packs of ass this year, but lo and behold, they're one of, if not the best midfield team this season. And just imagine what they can really show once Arvid Lindblad gets going. Isn't he already going though? He has scored points, yes, but there is more, trust me. This kid is almost a generational talent. He's whatever the tier below generational is, and once he fully settles in, dare I say we're going to see 2021 levels from this team again. Spain was an awesome weekend where Liam was competitive throughout every session, and Lindblad was there too, scoring points. I genuinely think Austria will be a repeat, if not slightly better, since the shorter track should be more to their liking. So go make me proud, Liam. Show the haters you have never been ass. But they are going to find things a little bit difficult since next up is the Alpine team. I don't know what Alpine have done lately, but good fucking job, man. Alpine were so unbelievably ass in 2025, it wasn't funny. But now they are not only better, but like much better. Gasly has been driving that car right to his limit week in, week out, which kind of sucks once you see that he has had his fair share of bad luck. But for once, Alpine are not in the shitter because of that, since in the other car, Colapinto is finally an F1 driver again. Colapinto has been doing some good shit in the car, and for the first time since probably 2023, Alpine have two drivers capable of scoring points and more. I think Alpine v Racing Bulls will be a midfield fight to watch throughout the season, and we are going to be fed in, week out, that I'm going to get gassy and I don't know, maybe explode. You don't want to see that, right? Now for the top dogs, and I begin with Red Bull. My two peepers are watching Red Bull closely this week, since I think this could straight up be one of, if not their best weekend, not yet, but this season as a whole. Red Bull love this track. It's called the Red Bull Ring for a reason. Not only is this their home Grand Prix, but their car always does well around here, and in particular, Max Verstappen is a demon here. If any weekend is going to see Red Bull on the podium again, if not the top spot, this week is that week. Couple in some upgrades coming, and hey man, it's looking pretty good for Maxi Poo, and Hadjar too, since he's been doing decent in the car lately. Red Bull must have a good weekend here, and I think they will achieve it. Finally, I want to talk about McLaren. McLaren are in desperate need of something good here. The past few weekends have seen them suffer so bad, it's kind of fucking ridiculous, because that car is good, make no mistake. What is holding them back though is reliability and tire wear. Over a race distance, that car collapses and it needs to be fixed, especially because their drivers have been doing so good. Piastri has been on poor form as of late, but I don't think that's him struggling to drive the cars or anything. I think it's more him just not being confident, which can't say I blame him. Meanwhile, Lando has been driving out of this world this season, which you can never tell by looking at results. If Lando had a car that could, work, Lando could very well be in Lewis's position right now. If McLaren can fix their car this week and finally just have a normal race, I expect both drivers will be in the mix once again. This weekend will be more of the same in terms of performance, but in Silverstone, watch out, people. Moving on to the driver we need to view this weekend, and in my opinion, I think of course Lewis Hamilton is deserving of our eyes. I mean, must I explain it? If Lewis Hamilton really is going to be a part of some title fight this year, we need to see the form be permanent, not temporary. Of course, this is Lewis Hamilton we are talking about, so I seriously doubt he's going to go back to P8 slop, especially if he's actually really connecting with the car. But regardless, if Lewis is going to be in the title mix this year, a podium and a tough fight with the Mercedes must be the bare minimum. Which, staying on top with Lewis Hamilton, now we have the stories heading into the weekend, and let's begin with a potential Ferrari title fight. Should I say Ferrari title fight or Lewis title fight? Either way, after a mighty Barcelona weekend which saw Sir Lewis Hamilton win again in Formula 1, quite handily too in an effort akin to 2021 and years prior, many having seen that Unk still has it, along with good form in Canada and Monaco, are now saying Lewis Hamilton can fight with the Mercs and be in the title fight. I mean, he is 40 points back from Kimi Antonelli and quite ahead of Russell too. I mean, it does look optimistic. And with me being the Ferrari duck who sucks too much hopium out of every single instance, I unfortunately am going to be real for once. I would love to say and even just think that Lewis can be in the fight for the championship, but the reality is Mercedes are still ahead. Maybe ADO upgrades can close the gap more, but Mercedes are still Mercedes. They still have comfortably the fastest car, and the only reason why Barcelona gave us the illusion that Ferrari and Lewis were on par, if not ahead, was because strategy simply fell in our favor. I mean, from lap 1, Lewis was always on the better strat and always looked poised to at least be a thorn in between both Mercedes. I think here at a track like Austria, we will fall back down to earth, because sure, on one hand, the track is short with many medium to high speed corners which should work in Ferrari's favor, but we ain't the only team with favor around here. Plus, Kimi says fuck it and does well at every track anyway, so Austria should be more of an indicator on if Lewis is really in a title fight is my point. Maybe I'm just a doomer who doesn't believe yet, but can you blame me after so many failures of years past? Anyways, next up is another potential story with a potential Aston Martin redemption soon. I say soon very, very loosely since we have zero idea when this care package can come, but it should be soon, and when it does, can Aston actually be in the mix for real? I mean, given how these lot have not brought a single upgrade in months, all that prep times better stand for something. And you know, I actually think things can work out well for the Aston team. I don't think it'll be such a drastic jump from like P21 to P7, but it should be a big enough jump to where Alonso can maybe have a magical weekend and fight with the top dogs to bring home actual points. Because sure, he already did so in Monaco, but like, did he really? Aston could be on the big up soon, and 2027 should be a polar opposite from 2026, maybe even a driver sense too, since Alonso of course threatened retirement last week, so Aston potentially have major change on the horizon. Finally, I want to discuss another potential story. Let's talk about a potential Mercedes rerun. Since the April break, the Merc drivers have slowly been looking at each other differently. Kimi Antonelli has just been taking win after win, and even a weekend like Spain where he would have never won, he was still going to finish ahead of George had his engine not blown up for once. And I say for once, since on the opposite end of the garage, you have George Russell, who has just been plagued with engine issue after engine issue, which hinders his results and in turn hinders his ability to drive these cars the best. He also is not really gelling super well to the cars in general, and where he could maybe use more time to better understand his machine, it blows up before he can even learn much. Obviously, this is making George really angry since this year was his year, yet he's being embarrassed badly by a baby and an unk now. So the two Mercs have slowly but surely grown more distant as the weekends go on and on. Toto Wolff has played these exact games before, so before anything has actually happened between the two Merc drivers, he has already come out and said that a Mercedes Part 2 will not happen at all again. I think that no matter what he does, a rivalry is impossible to prevent in the team, and it will eventually get ugly. I think this is great for the sport personally, since the sport has been so fake happy for a couple years now. You could tell these drivers hate each other, but PR said that we must be happy and jolly together, so it just leads to such a snake-like personality for most drivers. I say make these fuckers show anger again. It builds a lot of engagement for the sport. Look at 2021 for example, and after it's done, they'll naturally get over and start being happy again. It's fine. So I think we yapped on for long enough. Here are my predictions for the Austrian Grand Prix that will be proven right. As always, it must be stated that we will predict three things: the top 5 in the qualifying, the top 5 in the race, and a random prediction from any session. It should also be noted that these predictions are based on nothing but pure vibes, so bear with me. No sprints again, so now for the main qualifying predictions, and I predict that the top 5 on Saturday, starting with 5th, will be Isaac Hadjar, 4th will be Charles Leclerc, and 3rd will be Lewis Hamilton, and 2nd will be Kimi Antonelli, and for pole position, I have Max Verstappen, who reclaims P1 this season. Now for the race predictions, and starting with 5th, I have Charles Leclerc, and 4th, I have Lewis Hamilton, and 3rd, I have Kimi Antonelli, and 2nd, I have George Russell, and the winner of the 2026 Austrian Grand Prix is Max Verstappen, who is our 3rd non-Mercedes winner this season. Time for my random prediction. I think in the weekend, George Russell will have an almighty comeback drive after a Q2 disaster. Also remember, for a chance to appear in the winners and losers, go join my Discord to make your predictions. So that was the preview. I seriously think this weekend has potential to be top 5 of the season, if not top 3. This track has always produced bangers out of nothing regulation, so I actually think it is impossible we will see a boring weekend out of this one. Anyways, I want to give a quick shout out to all members of the vlog for the continued support, and make sure to join if you want cool benefits as well as just helping me out. Anyways, if you enjoyed today's video, make sure you leave a like and subscribe since it really helps me out. Make sure to let me know in the comments what your predictions are, and as always, have an amazing day.
Good weather for the duck.